Hi, instead of having a parent meeting, I thought I would try doing something a little different, having just a quick video that might answer most of the questions that you would have. If at the end of the video, if you have any other questions, please feel free to contact me at the school. My number is 672-3022, or you can contact the office and they can get a hold of me as well. This is the itinerary for our trip, and all of the students will have this same itinerary, but the contact information for the students will be listed here. Excuse me, for the chaperones. I've got listed all of the places that we'll be visiting and some reminders for students just to be classy, represent themselves, their school in a positive way, to make sure that they're on time so that we don't inconvenience the group, and that we use the buddy system at all times. It's extremely important that we use the buddy system. I don't want anyone to ever be alone on the trip at any time. And then also what's important is to also have fun. So on the itinerary, we have students leaving the parking lot of the school at 6 o'clock. Now, we're not going to have any student drivers. Chaperones will help transport students from the school leaving at 6 and parking at overnight parking at Bloomington at the train station. It's important that we leave at 6. So I would plan on being here at the school at 5:45, so that you give yourself enough time to get your luggage squared away and find what car you're going to ride in and things like that. I'm not sure if I said that or not, but there's not going to be any student drivers. It doesn't matter if you're 18 or not. We're just going to make sure that everyone is an experienced driver whenever we're on our trip. Once we get to Union Station in Chicago, we're going to be taking some cabs. There'll be 4 people in a cab. Money will be provided for cabs, and they're going to take us to our hotel room to our hotel at the Embassy Suites Magnificent Mile location. At that place, we'll check our bags and go shopping. Most people tend to go to the Water Tower Mall, the Hancock Building Observatory on the 98th floor. And then most of the time, most people go to the Cheesecake Factory for lunch. But as long as you are with a chaperoned group, you can go, your student can go to another group. Your group must be back at the hotel. I'm going to go back a little bit early to make sure our rooms are squared away. And that kind of depends on the hotel when we get up there. They might have our rooms ready or they might not. But we have, we'll make sure that I'll get there. I'll make sure all the hotels are all squared away, and then the groups need to be back by 4:30 so they can get dressed formally for our night out. I do have limousines that are prepared or that are going to take us from place to place. We're going to go to the pizza place first. Then we'll go to after that the limos will take us to the theater, and then from the theater they'll take us back to the hotel. It's going to be a long day. Kids are usually wiped out by the end. Everybody's been going from 6 o'clock in the morning until almost midnight. When we wake up the next day, this particular hotel will provide breakfast for us, and so we'll make sure that we pack our luggage. We get a breakfast. We pack our luggage, take it downstairs, and it's going to be held for us as a group in a group setting, so that when we get done at the art museum, which is a little bit later on in our day, we can just come back and pick up our luggage. So from there, we're going to go to see what everybody usually calls the Bean. We'll take a group picture. We'll go to the art museum where I'll give a quick talk about some of the things that the students should be looking for. And then everyone will, eat there at the museum, which can be a little bit pricey. So you need to budget accordingly. It's not extremely pricey, just depending on what you get. They kind of got some fancy food. So something to think about as far as budgeting. We'll have our luggage in hand by 3 o'clock. We need to be at the train station early because we will load onto the train as a group, and usually that happens before the rest of the passengers. And then we'll get back to Bloomington and back to the school as quickly as possible. I have some notes here in front of me. A couple things I wanted to say was chaperones will drive. No student drivers will be allowed. I think I mentioned that. We'll have a 6 o'clock. We'll be leaving at 6 o'clock a.m. sharp with no exceptions. Students will drive themselves to school, should park in the student lot. Chaperones will be lined up there. We'll just make a caravan. We'll load up in different cars and we'll take off from there. Again, the buddy system is extremely important. Make sure you use good judgment, that you're always with someone. And one of those reasons is the fact that there will be homeless people on our trip. And the trip that we're going on is not a service trip. So I don't want to sound heartless, but we are not going to be engaging with the homeless. They can be intimidating. Often they can be persistent. If at any time your student feels unsafe, cornered, or generally uneasy, they need to get a chaperone or yell for me and I will come and I will deal with it. It is not something that we're there to deal with. Sometimes those people are mentally unstable. And as sad as it is, and as much as we want to help them, this is not going to be the setting to do so. As they can really slow down our group, and there are a significant number of homeless that we will probably see, which I think is a learning experience for our children. But it's also something that, hopefully we can talk about without necessarily engaging in it at this time. You do not need to buy a new dress or a new shirt and tie for this trip, but I would like us to dress nicely to go see Hamilton. Trains don't typically run behind, but sometimes that happens. If the train is behind, that's going to affect our arrival time. So just understand that these times for arrival back to school are not set in stone. And not that I anticipate any problems, but it needs to be known that all school rules apply while we're on the trip, regardless of if your student is 18 or not, and that failure to meet this expectations set by myself and by the school could result, not will, but could result in needing a parent or guardian to pick up their student. It's been a great trip. I've done it for like 10 years. I've never had a problem with students. We've always had a wonderful time, and I anticipate the same thing happening again. Again, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please either email me at manningj@wlcusd11.org, or you can call me at 672-3022. Thank you.